Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pashyata Deshatarane Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So in this festival time, I was wondering who will come today. Because everyone is so busy and there were so many programs going in Radharanath temple, and here also Rath Yatra was there. In Ujjain, when we have Rath Yatra, after Rath reaches, you can't find anybody because they all go on rest. But this is the enthusiasm of devotees that they have still come. So I'm very grateful to all the devotees. We used to see this temple in photos when Guru Maharaj used to come, and when we were in college. So we used to see how the new altar came, and then all these posts used to come in Ishtagoshti, BCS Ishtagoshti, then Prabhupada's altar, and so many things. So many memories are there. And also I was just thinking, Lord Jagannath, because Lord Jagannath originally appeared for the king of Ujjain. So Guru Maharaj also have that relationship with Lord Jagannath. So maybe therefore he gave this theme like Ujjain. The floor, the design, even the altar, this boundary, everything is like Ujjain. So Jagannath feel homely. Hare Krishna. So past couple of weeks we had opportunity of meeting together, and we were discussing Guru Maharaj's qualities, his pastimes, his compassion, and we were relating them with Lord Ram's qualities. So yesterday we covered till the 11th quality, and now we have 5 more to cover. So let's see if we can cover it today, and then tomorrow we can discuss about the lockdown memories with Guru Maharaj, the last days, last couple of months of Guru Maharaj's Prakat Leela, manifested Leela. So I was last thing we discussed is Eka Priya Darshanam, that just by seeing Guru Maharaj or being around him, one feels so content and so filled with love. One thing is to give shelter, but another thing is to make person feel sheltered. And Guru Maharaj was expert in it. He would make person feel sheltered. Next quality is the 12th one, which is Atmavan. Atmavan means one who is situated in his spiritual position and one who has controlled his senses. Many times we see that Guru Maharaj, that's the next quality also. Guru Maharaj would be upset on something, but then he would control it. And he got all these qualities because of very close association with Srila Prabhupada. Many times we would hear that Guru Maharaj served Srila Prabhupada so closely, but I got a glimpse of that understanding when one time we were in New York and Guru Maharaj was taking rest, and one of his godbrothers came to see him. And he was very close to Guru Maharaj. His name is Guru Gauranga Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple. And he was a professional advocate. So Guru Maharaj involved him in solving the Brooklyn issue. And we had instruction that whenever any godbrother comes, then there is no need to ask Guru Maharaj, we have to just take them in. That was the instruction. Like even in Mayapur, once Jagannath Maharaj came and we just took him inside Guru Maharaj's room. So Guru Maharaj was taking rest. Jagannath Maharaj, Guru Maharaj got up. Guru Maharaj said, "No, no, Maharaj, you take rest. I just need to take bath in your bathroom." So it was so loving. Guru Maharaj had this love for his godbrothers. They can come anytime. So when Guru Gauranga Prabhu came, so we took him inside. Guru Maharaj was taking rest. So he said, "Let him take rest. I'll sit with all of you." So 3, 4 of us we were sitting. And then Guru Gauranga Prabhu was sharing his memories of Srila Prabhupada. And he was telling that I was so eager to speak to Srila Prabhupada personally that I would find chances where to meet him. And then when he would try to go near Srila Prabhupada, he was told that only temple presidents can meet Srila Prabhupada. So what to do? So he took trouble of going to Switzerland and opening a new center there, the Zurich temple. And he became president of that temple just to see Srila Prabhupada. And when he came back, that time there was new rule. He said now only sannyasis and GBCs can meet Srila Prabhupada. So then he struggled hard to become a GBC man to see Srila Prabhupada. And while speaking, he started to cry with tears in his eyes. He said, "And your Guru Maharaj was with Srila Prabhupada all the time. You don't know the value, but we know, as we were struggling to get even one glimpse of Srila Prabhupada. But he served him all this while." But being with Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj got many qualities from Srila Prabhupada, like taking more salt, or repeating the menu for days. Like if he likes something, he will take it for a month. And recently, Shrutakirti Prabhu, when he came to Ujjain, he was telling, Srila Prabhupada would do that. If Srila Prabhupada would teach something to cook and disciple would make it to the perfection, that he would repeat the same item for weeks together. So Guru Maharaj got from him. But the best thing which Guru Maharaj got from Srila Prabhupada for us is love. Prabhupada showered so much love on Guru Maharaj from the day one. We know that. Prabhupada encourages him to sit next to him and things like that. And same he passed on to his devotees. I remember my first flight to South Africa, and I was sharing this in the previous gatherings, that how Guru Maharaj got my visa done in one day, and I got my passport just few hours before the flight. And I forgot his passport back at home. So he tolerated me. Anyway, we reached the airport. And there Guru Maharaj asked me, "Is this your first international trip?" I said, "Yes, Guru Maharaj." So he understood I was not knowing anything. So he told, "Take out the tickets." And I took out the tickets. And Guru Maharaj said, "Now highlight our names on the ticket and highlight the flight number." So I did that. I was not knowing why. Maybe this was the procedure to check in or something. So in India, to enter airport, you have to show your tickets. So we gave the person these tickets with highlighted names and flight number, and then he let us in. Then Guru Maharaj told that actually, this person is standing there and he has to check so many people's ticket. So it's a struggle to find names on the ticket. So we should make his work simpler. He was thinking about, airport staff. And then we went to the check-in place. I was not knowing anything. So he was doing everything, speaking to the person, getting a seat done, and everything he did. Finally, we crossed the immigration. We went to the lounge and we checked in. We were boarding. So when we were boarding, Guru Maharaj just asked me my seat number. So he asked my seat number and I told him. And me myself was not remembering my seat number. So just I saw in the ticket, I told him. That's it. Now I sat, and it was a long flight. So what to do? I chanted, I slept, everything. Now what to do? So there was a screen, and it's a temptation. Right in front, nothing to do. So I just switched on that screen. and I started watching a movie, a comedy movie. And as I was watching, maybe I watched it for like 10 minutes or so, I saw Guruma standing next to me. And I was so embarrassed that he took so much trouble to bring me with him. It is long story how he got my passport and things. And now I am here watching a movie. So I was feeling so much guilty that Guruma is standing next to me and he was asking, "So, how is your flight? How is everything?" And I was not able to respond. And I was not able to even stand up. I was just sitting. I was so nervous. Then Gurumaj understood I am nervous, and Gurumaj gave me a card. And he said, "This is fast card. So when you reach Dubai, there will be long queue at immigration and everywhere. So my cabin will allow me to go faster, but your cabin will not allow you to go faster. So you use this card so you don't have to stand in queue." I felt more guilty that he asked my seat number, and he came. It was an Airbus, like two floors. So he came all the way from there to my seat to give me this card, and here I am watching a movie. I felt so heavy. My heart was sinking. So we reached Dubai, and as we reached Dubai, I rushed to take luggage of Gurumaj, because while boarding, I took his luggage, I placed everything, and then I came to my seat. So while we landed, after that I rushed to Gurumaj, because Gurumaj was already gone. And that made me feel even worse. I thought Gurumaj is upset with me and he doesn't need me now. He already left. So then I was running, and Dubai airport is big airport. So I could finally reach him after like 7, 8 or 10 minutes. So I finally reached him. He was having his shoulder bag on his shoulder. So I took it off and I took on my shoulder. He gave me a nice smile. So I felt a little comfortable. But then when we went to fetch the bags, now we had 3 bags. And when I was struggling to get the first one, the other two were going. So Gurumaj took the other 2 bags off. So again I was feeling so bad that I'm useless. Why did I come with Gurumaj? I'm troubling him. Now we sat in a taxi, not in taxi, the Emirates car to drop us. So we sat in that car and this person was driving. We reached at our accommodation, and as we reached, this person turned back and he asked Gurumaj, "Is he your son?" I was thinking, my God. Already I disappointed, and now what question is he asking? And Gurumaj looked at me and said, "Yes, he is my son." That made me so comfortable. And then Gurumaj even clarified. He said, "Actually, I'm not married. He's my disciple, but that makes him better than my son." So it was so much comforting that I was doing all these mistakes, but he was tolerating it. Atman, when he has full control on himself. Then we reached Dubai, and Gurumaj had a stop over there, so he stayed, and next day we had flight. So Mahesh Prabhu from Dubai, he packed nice journey prasad for us. Now he packed 2 packets, one for Gurumaj, one for me. And while keeping, Gurumaj told, "Keep both packets in my bag." So I was wondering, why both packets in Gurumaj's bag? Because if I am hungry, how will I ask Gurumaj that I am hungry? And we are going to be in different cabins. So anyway, Gurumaj asked me to keep, so I kept it. Now it was again 9 hours flight from Dubai to Cape Town. So some hours passed by. Now I can't watch movie also, so I was just sitting there. And naturally I was feeling hungry. And now the airplane staff, they were serving food to all people and they were eating, and I was feeling more and more hungry. And they came with that food to me also, vegetarian meal. But then I said, "No, I'm not going to do anything which will displease Gurumaj. What if I start eating and Gurumaj again comes?" So no, I can't do that. So I was just tolerating and I was hungry. And when everybody finished their food, they took away the plates and everything. Then one air hostess came in the cabin with a nice tray with transparent dome on it and nice cutlery and plates, everything nicely arranged. And everybody was looking, who is this person for whom this special treatment is given in economy class? And she came right to my seat and she said, "Your father sent you hot food." So, so then I realized that why Guru Maharaj told to keep both packets with him. So when we deported the plane, I again rushed to meet Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj said, "So how was prasad?" I said, "Guru Maharaj, it was hot and fresh." And Guru Maharaj said, "Yeah, therefore I kept it with me because I had facility to warm it up in my cabin. So I wanted to give you hot prasad." So that was his love. Then again, Atmavan, another aspect of Atmavan is he would not tell about his needs very casually. Like one time we were in New Jersey and there was a big program. Actually, it was New York. It was a big program in a school. And Guru Maharaj gave the class, and there was a lot of devotees. They attended the program. It was around 9 o'clock in evening, night. We were going back. So the program was finished, and we were just walking out of the school. And Guru Maharaj said, "Would you take dinner?" I said, "No, Guru Maharaj, I am not hungry." And then we went to the car, almost, going to sit in the car. And then I realized Guru Maharaj is asking me, did I take dinner? But it is my responsibility to ask him, will he take dinner? So it is only when I reached car I realized. So I asked Guru Maharaj, would you like to have some dinner? Then he smiled, yes, I want to have. Then he went back. And then we served Guru Maharaj dinner in some disposal plates, whatever was available. He took some dinner. And then he said, you should also take dinner. So he would have not told about prasad if I would have not asked him. He was so particular. Like one time we were in New York, again Rath Yatra program was there, and so many, like this festival time was there in New York. So all devotees were very busy. So Guru Maharaj, we were staying in Priya Krishna Prabhu's house, and he was also having his job. So he cooked for Guru Maharaj and he went for job, and then he was supposed to come back in evening. In the meantime, Guru Maharaj had to go to Brooklyn. So Guru Maharaj said, can you book Uber? So I booked Uber, and then Guru Maharaj sat in Uber. Now Guru Maharaj has around 100 disciples in that area, New Jersey, New York, that area. But Guru Maharaj didn't call anyone. And when we were driving in Uber, Guru Maharaj said, they all are busy in festival time, we should not disturb them. So therefore he took Uber all the time. So it was his sensitivity. Again, New York pastime, we were at Mirabai Mataji's apartment, and one Mataji got some grapes for Guru Maharaj. Very nice grapes. They were looking nice. So we washed them and kept it. So Mataji spoke to Guru Maharaj, and then she told Guru Maharaj, I brought grapes for you. Guru Maharaj said, thank you. Then Mataji said, Guru Maharaj, can you have them now? Guru Maharaj said, I can have it later, but she insisted. Guru Maharaj, please have some grapes. I brought special grapes for you. Guru Maharaj said, okay, bring. So we served grapes to him. And then Guru Maharaj took some grapes, almost half of them. Guru Maharaj took just like a bowl. He took half of it. And then he said, I'll take rest later. So we took it off. Mataji went away. And whatever remaining, we were taking it. And the first grape we ate, it was so sour. It was so sour that actually we could not finish that. We had to throw it out. And then I went to Guru Maharaj's room and asked, Guru Maharaj, the grapes were so sour, how did you eat it? Guru Maharaj said, what to do? She was sitting in front of me. I didn't want to break her heart by telling that the grapes she brought were sour. So we think that we are doing a lot of service to Guru Maharaj, but actually he would tolerate many times. Like one time, one Mataji, she served a big feast to Guru Maharaj in Pune. And Guru Maharaj had his prasad. And Guru Maharaj asked for salt, but somehow they missed. We are serving so many items and then missed. So Guru Maharaj took the whole prasad, and then Guru Maharaj told that Mataji, the prasad was very nice, but when you serve the devotees, please put some salt in each item. So he tolerated that all the while. And this is another thing of Atmavan, that he would encourage devotees to tolerate and cooperate with each other. So many times, so many complaints would come to him, but he would keep patience in how to correct his devotees. Like this was in particular city, Guru Maharaj had a lot of disciples there. And somehow they were not getting along together. A lot of fights. So one of them was, there were two groups. So one group, one leader, another group, one leader. So this one of the groups, this leader came to give massage to Guru Maharaj in night. And Guru Maharaj started to speak to him. Guru Maharaj said, you know, when I will leave this body and when I will go to Srila Prabhupada will ask me how your disciples are doing. And do you want me to tell Srila Prabhupada they are fighting among themselves? What will I reply to Srila Prabhupada? So for my sake, you cooperate. It's such an instructive incident. Next is Jita Krodho. Jita Krodho means one who conquer his anger. Now, interestingly, in these 16 qualities, one is Jita Krodho, one who conquers his anger. But the 16th quality is from whose anger even demigods tremble. So both implies to Guru Maharaj. Because when he wants to control his anger, he can do that. But when he doesn't want to, then there is no limit to it. Like one time, we were in Ujjain. It was winter time. And for washing hands of Guru Maharaj, we would warm some water and keep. So this particular day, what happened, some of my friends came to meet me. So my attention was distracted. They were waiting outside. So I heated the water, but I didn't check how hot it was. It was too hot. And I just kept it there and I went to meet my friends. In the meantime, Sitanath Prabhu was serving Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj finished his prasad. And generally, he would never ask this. Like, after prasad, we would take and pour water on his hands and he would wash his hands. But this particular day, he said, Sitanath Prabhu, can you check that water, how hot it is? And Sitanath Prabhu checked that water. It was extremely hot. If he would have poured it on Guru Maharaj's hands, he would have burned. So later on, when I came to know this, I went to Guru Maharaj and asked forgiveness. Guru Maharaj, please forgive me that I didn't realize this. Guru Maharaj said, don't worry, I checked it. But next time you make sure you don't do this. In Durban, when we arrived from Cape Town, Guru Maharaj was giving the arrival address. Similar thing. Guru Maharaj was giving example of human intelligence at Himanga Prabhu's place. And Guru Maharaj said, see, human beings are so intelligent, they can adjust anywhere. Just like last evening, I needed hot water and there was nobody around. And what I did, I blocked the sink and I filled it with hot water. And then I put my cup there to heat my water and then I drank it. So I realized it was me who didn't keep Guru Maharaj hot water in the flask. So I went and asked Guru Maharaj later on, Guru Maharaj, please forgive me, I forgot to keep the hot water. I said, no, I was just giving an example of human intelligence. And then I told him, Guru Maharaj, you can call me anytime. Like even in night, if you need something, you can call me. And I added one more thing, that Guru Maharaj, actually your letters are pending because of hectic schedule. And you get up early in the morning, so you can ring bell and I can come. And we can do dictations before the day starts, like before 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Guru Maharaj didn't say anything. He said, okay. Next day, I could not get up early. I got up at 6 o'clock. And then Guru Maharaj asked me during the breakfast, so what time did you get up? I said, Guru Maharaj, 6 o'clock. Then how you would manage these dictations in the early morning? So he was tolerating. Then again we were leaving for Drakensberg, I guess, or some program. And I saw before how Jagannath Pandit Prabhu would put socks in Guru Maharaj's feet. So I learned that. So I thought I will try today. I was a new servant that time, so I was just trying new things. So I took socks, but I was so nervous, putting socks in Guru Maharaj's feet, and his socks are too tight, that. So it's just managing to put, and I could only do half. And then Guru Maharaj took over and Guru Maharaj put himself. Guru Maharaj said, self-help is the best help. Again I felt so guilty. I asked Guru Maharaj, sorry Guru Maharaj, I don't know all these things. I said, don't worry, practice makes the man perfect. So he was like that, tolerating. And he had one more style, that if he would chastise for something, then for sure he will shower some extra care, extra affection. That is for sure. Even in Ujjain, all devotees know, if Guru Maharaj chastises somebody, he will be called next day or the same day for prasad or something. He will get extra love. Like in Singapore, when you go to the Singapore immigration, they give you a white card, and you are supposed to keep that white card until you leave the country. So I was not aware of all that. So they gave the white card, and somehow I kept it here and there. I was not knowing where it is. Now, when we were going to Malaysia, we were supposed to produce that white card, and we were at immigration. Guru Maharaj asked, "Where is that white card?" And then I was just searching here and then, and Guru Maharaj, he doesn't like to wait. He doesn't like to wait. In 10 seconds, I was searching. Guru Maharaj gave me like 10 or 20 big things. He spoke, "You're useless. Why did I bring you with me?" And this and that. He spoke so many things. So finally, I found that white card. So I gave it to Guru Maharaj. We crossed the immigration. We went. As we reached Malaysia, Guru Maharaj had some problem in his Apple Watch. Guru Maharaj rang his bell. I went there. So Guru Maharaj said, "Can you change this?" I changed the thing. And then Guru Maharaj said, "See, it's not that you are useless. I need your help at so many times." So he was encouraging. Many times there were some funny incidences also. Like one time in Prabhupada Memorial Festival, so many devotees made so many different items of prasad. And they brought from Surat and Gurgaon and different cities from Bengal, some dry items. So many things came, and Guru Maharaj was taking Ayurvedic treatment. So Guru Maharaj said that, "I'll not take all this prasad. You can distribute it." So even in distribution, the servants are very clever. They keep things what they need and what to distribute. So I distributed everything, and there was a specific box of kachoris which I kept for myself. And I thought I'll give it to my friends. They will be very happy. So after Guru Maharaj went to take rest, I went down and I gave this box to my friends that this kachoris came from Surat and very nice, and you take. And they were happy. And as I went back, Guru Maharaj already got up by the time. And Guru Maharaj rang his bell, and Guru Maharaj said, "I was wondering, there was one box of kachoris. Can you bring that?" And I was what should I do? I ran down in ashram. And as I ran down, all of them were having kachoris. I said, "Is there any one kachori left at least?" Then one devotee, luckily, he kept one kachori in his cupboard. He said, "I have only one left." He said, "Give me." So I took that up, I ran, I put in Guru Maharaj's silver plate, I took and served to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj started taking it, and then Sitanath Prabhu came. So he saw that Guru Maharaj is taking it very, by seeing Guru Maharaj you can understand he is liking the food or not. So he was happy. So he asked Guru Maharaj, "Guru Maharaj, can I bring one more?" I was thinking, what he's saying, I have only one. But how can I bring it? I don't know how Guru Maharaj understood. Guru Maharaj just looked at him and he said, "Actually there was only one." And then said, I was shocked. And then Guru Maharaj asked me, "From whose plate you brought this kachori?" I told not, Guru Maharaj, it was not in plate, it was in cupboard. So he was, interacting like that. But he was also very cautious in dealing with his disciples so they don't cross their limit. Because his job as Guru was to give love, but then also maintain that respect. Like when he was staying in D-Land, because he was on the farm all the time, slowly there were instances that devotees were becoming casual. So then one day Guru Maharaj said that actually it is not good for devotees' spiritual life that I stay with them so closely. Because Guru Maharaj was eating with us, and he was, we showed some pictures in previous sessions. He was on tractor, he's going and doing all kind of things. So then Guru Maharaj decided that he will stay a little far, started living far. In the meantime, one devotee came from UK. He was a young devotee, and he wrote to Guru Maharaj that he wants to serve him. So Guru Maharaj said, "Okay, you can serve me." And Guru Maharaj told me, "So you stay at farm and he will serve me." So I said, "Okay." So I was staying at farm. After one day, Guru Maharaj called me. Guru Maharaj said, "You come back and I am sending him to the farm." And I was wondering what happened. He is, such educated devotee and everything. So I asked him, what did you do? So Guru Maharaj is sending you back. He said, actually in night, 11 o'clock, Guru Maharaj asked for ice cream. And I was preaching to Guru Maharaj how you should not take ice cream in night. And Guru Maharaj didn't take ice cream, but next day he told that you are going back to the farm. So I went to Guru Maharaj, and then Guru Maharaj said, actually, I should not allow two new people to come near to me because it's not good for their spiritual life. He was not concerned about ice cream. He was concerned about their spiritual life. Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Temple Maharani ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. So he was concerned about their spiritual life. So I got a realization from that as a servant, my job is not to see Guru Maharaj as a guru. My job is to see Guru Maharaj as a person whom I have to please. Because if I put all definitions of scriptures while serving him, I can't serve him. So whatever he needs, that was my job. So one time in Tirupati, this was after this, Guru Maharaj asked during the evening, can I have some idli and sambar? As we were in South India. Now, in evening time, when I went to devotee kitchen, they were having some rice and rasam. When I went to Govindas, they already stopped Govindas because they were serving GBCs there. I could not get idli sambar anywhere. Now what to do? I have to serve him. There were no disciples also there nearby, so I can get from them. And when he needs right away. So even if they are disciples, they cannot cook idli sambar right away. So then I went to DT kitchen. And in DT kitchen, Pujari was preparing the plate for Lord to offer. And there was idli and sambar. So now I thought the Pujari will offer and the offering will come, it's half an hour. And I was already roaming around for 15-20 minutes. So what to do? So I just grabbed that idli and sambar and I was taking it away. Now this devotee was speaking some Tamil or Telugu, I don't know. He was shouting at me and I was not able to communicate with him. So I told Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre. Guru is like Krishna, so I am taking for him. And he kept on screaming at me, but I took that idli and sambar and I served it to Guru Maharaj. But I was feeling that guilty that I took DT's bhoga and I served to Guru Maharaj. So I gathered courage and somehow asked Guru Maharaj that Guru Maharaj, when you would serve Srila Prabhupada, so you would offer him bhoga directly or you would offer it to Krishna and then you would offer? This is what I asked. So Guru Maharaj said, actually, when I was serving Srila Prabhupada, I would directly offer it to Srila Prabhupada because Prabhupada is Krishna's representative. So I was happy that what I did was right. But then Guru Maharaj looked up and said, but you should offer it to Krishna first before you offer it to... So he always kept that balance that the person may not go too off track. So there is balance between love and chastisement, both. Like one time in D-Land, he had swelling in his leg and he couldn't walk. And Guru Maharaj said, it's winter time, so I want to sit in the sun. So I helped Guru Maharaj to walk and it was really bad. So he somehow managed to walk and we had a rose garden. So he sat near that. And Kamlesh Krishna Prabhu from UK, he was also there. So he also sat. So when they were talking, I thought, they were talking some GBC related issues. So I thought I can do some other work in the meantime. So I went away. And I was doing Guru Maharaj's laundry and things. And after 45 minutes, I came back. When I came back, Guru Maharaj was red hot, angry. So angry. Where did you go? In this situation also, I have to look for you. And the phones were not working that time. So in D-Land, we got some walkie-talkies. So I left that also back. Guru Maharaj said, I have to look for you. If I have to need something, where will I go? I cannot walk also on myself. He was very angry. And seeing Guru Maharaj angry, Kamlesh Krishna Prabhu became double angry. And he, you know what he said? He said, how can you treat my Guru Maharaj like this? And I was thinking, who is my Guru Maharaj then? So anyway, they both chastised me. And then Guru Maharaj said, now help me to go back. So anyway, I was walking and Guru Maharaj took support of my shoulder and he was walking. And I felt bad, so I was a little quiet and with my eyes down, I was walking back to his door. Guruma said, "Don't worry, we just fought, and now we are friends. We are like Krishna Balaram, you see." He's placing his hand on me. He said, "Now we are friends." It's like such a sweet. He would balance. He would chastise and then love. Okay, I'll skip this one. Next one is Dyutiman. Dyutiman means from whom rays emanate. So Lord's, we know, Lord is the source of Brahma Jyoti. But in Lord Ramchandra's pastime, one more explanation to this Dyutiman is, from him love emanates. So we know when Guru Maharaj was around, love would emanate from him. Like one time he went to the GBC meeting and he just entered the area of GBC hall in Mayapur. And Bhira Krishna Maharaj was there. And he welcomed Guru Maharaj by saying that, "Here comes the sun." Because whenever we are in difficulty, we ask Maharaj to guide us. So that was the vision by which devotees would see Guru Maharaj. And he would always make sure how to distribute that love. Like first time when we went to New York, Guru Maharaj stayed with Mirabai Mataji, and he found out that her daughter Miloni was studying in university, and she was not having proper food there because vegetarian food and without onion garlic is very difficult. So after about 2 months, we again went to New York. And before leaving from Orlando, Guru Maharaj took us to Walmart and he purchased like full bag of different items like lasagna sheets, cheese, bread, so many things. He got a full bag. And when we went there, Guru Maharaj gave the whole bag to Miloni and said, "I brought all these things for you because I know in university you don't get nice food." So the both mother and daughter started crying because who could give this much love? And Guru Maharaj cooked personally lasagna for her and said, "You can save this, you can eat it for few days." So that's how he was spreading his love. And best thing is, when being around him, we would also feel Srila Prabhupada's love. Like one time we were in Bhubaneswar and Guru Maharaj was staying in one. Actually, there is one devotee who was aspiring initiation from Guru Maharaj, and he has a very big hotel, Swasti Premium. I think some devotees who went for pilgrimage, we stayed in Bhubaneswar in that hotel. So it's a very grand and very nice hotel. So Guru Maharaj was staying there, and in evening after his prasad, on his own, Guru Maharaj was sharing his childhood pastimes. So Guru Maharaj was saying that I was so naughty when I was a child. I would go and steal amrut from the trees and people would catch me. But seeing my sweet smile, they would forget everything. And then the boys in my street, the elder boys, they would make fun of me many times. And I would go with this, I don't know what you call here, you call auntie. Glass, small glass balls, you play marbles, yes. So they would steal my marbles from my pocket. So one day what I did, I kept some plates with marbles in my pockets. And I went right in front of these boys. And these boys started to make fun of me. And then they said, "We'll steal your marbles." Guru Maharaj said, "Okay, go ahead." And they put their hands in marbles and grabbed them and they got cut in their hand. So Guru was sharing all these wonderful, pastimes. And then he told the famous story where his fuse got off and he repaired the fuse in his house. Guru Maharaj told this in his lectures also. So all these pastimes he was sharing. In the meantime, there was a marriage procession. And in India, marriage procession means something. You have so many band and music and DJ and everything. So that sound was coming and Guru Maharaj was silent. And immediately his mood changed from that childhood pastime to Prabhupada. And he said, "Look, just like these people are enjoying this world, I would also be rotting in this world if Srila Prabhupada would not given me shelter." Immediately, his focus changed. Similarly, we went to Varanasi, and in Varanasi we went to a industry where they make these marbles. Like we have japa beads. This counter, japa counter. Those beads they make in Varanasi, and they have to work in the temperature 1000 degrees Celsius. That's where they melt this glass and make these beads. So Guru Maharaj saw the whole factory, and while returning, This devotee who took Guru Maharaj to that factory asked, "So Guru Maharaj, what do you feel about this factory?" Guru Maharaj said, "Look how much hard people have to work to earn their livelihood. And just by surrendering to Srila Prabhupada is taking care of me so nicely." So his constant meditation is Srila Prabhupada's mercy. One day, I was removing dead skin from his feet. So Guru Maharaj would sit in the sofa and I would take his feet and keep on my chest, and then with that machine, I would take out his dead skin. So Guru Maharaj got a call from some devotee. And the devotee asked, "So Guru Maharaj, what you are doing?" Guru Maharaj said, "I am relaxing in my chair and Krishna Kishore has my feet on his chest and he's removing my dead skin from the feet." And the devotee also started laughing. Then, "Guru Maharaj, you're having nice time." Guru Maharaj said, when I was not in Krishna consciousness, I was so rough that I would cut my nails with bare blade. I didn't even use nail cutter. I was so rough. And after coming to Krishna consciousness, look how much Srila Prabhupada is pampering me. He used that word pampering. How much Srila Prabhupada is pampering me. So his constant meditation was Srila Prabhupada. One time in Mayapur, it was Prabhupada's disappearance day. And one devotee asked Guru Maharaj, that, "Guru Maharaj, do you have any personal belonging of Srila Prabhupada? Like a sweater or clothes or something? Do you have any personal belonging?" Because Guru Maharaj was personal servant. Guru Maharaj said, "I have Srila Prabhupada with all his paraphernalia captured in my heart. So I don't need anything else." Similar incident, this is very nice one. Mohini, Parshuram Prabhu's daughter, she was undergoing a lot of health crisis. Her lower body was getting inactive, and that's how she could not walk, she could not go anywhere. So here is a picture also. I'll share this later on, PPT. So she came to meet Guru Maharaj in Mayapur. And in her last few years, she left her body. So in last few years, she developed a lot of attachment to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So she came to meet Guru Maharaj and she was crying that she's feeling intense separation from Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj was trying to tell her that, you can still be in touch with Maharaj through your consciousness, and you speak to him and he will respond. And then she was telling that, how can I accept that he is responding, he's not answering to me. There were a lot to and fro Guru Maharaj tried to explain. And then at the end of it, Guru Maharaj said a very nice thing. Guru Maharaj said, imagine when Srila Prabhupada left this world, what we underwent, what we went through. And we connected to Srila Prabhupada like this. He quoted one pastime of Bilamangal Thakur. He said when Bilamangal Thakur was in Vrindavan, he was blind. And Krishna would take him by hand to different places in Vrindavan. One day, he realized that this boy is not ordinary boy, he is Krishna himself. So he started to ask, from where you came, who is your father, who is your mother? And Krishna became worried that now my identity will be disclosed. And Krishna took off his hand from Bilamangal Thakur and started running. And Guru Maharaj is telling this story to Mohini. And Bilamangal Thakur replied, you can leave my hand and go away, but how can you leave my heart and go away? I have captured you in my heart. So similarly, we have captured Srila Prabhupada in our hearts. Srila Prabhupada can disappear from my vision, but how can he go away from my heart? By listening this, Mohini got pacified. So such a nice realization Guru Maharaj gave. Next one is, we are over time? It's okay? Mohini was 20 years old that time. 19 or 20, yes. She was 25 when she left her body. 22. So in 2023 she left her body, she was 22. So that year she was 17. That year she was 17. Next is Anasuyaka, means non-envious. Guru Maharaj was not posing himself as a spiritual master, we know. How he would do things which would make us feel that he is our friend. Like one time we went to Madurai airport and Guru Maharaj asked me, would you like to take some ice cream? And I was silent because I had cold. But Guru Maharaj thought that because I am handling all this luggage with me, so I don't want to go and get ice cream. So Guru Maharaj said, okay, you wait here, I'll bring ice cream. Then he himself went and stood in the queue and he got 2 flavors of ice creams and said, this is for you, this is for me. And I was feeling so touched. So I took that ice cream. But then my cold was worse. So when I was sitting in flight with him, I drank the whole cough syrup so that I don't cough next to Guru Maharaj. And that made me sleep. So I slept through the whole flight. When we reached from airport to the residence, I slept. When we met Madurai, then also I slept because I drank the whole cough syrup and it contains, the doctors know, it makes you sleep. So I slept like good 24 hours. And next day, Guru Maharaj asked, where is Krishna? Why is he sleeping so much? So then Baninath Prabhu told Guru Maharaj, he got some fever and cough. Guru Maharaj came and I was taking rest. So Guru Maharaj touched my head, testing the temperature. I opened my eyes and Guru Maharaj said, actually it was my fault. I should not have given you ice cream. So he would deal like that, as if he is our friend. How we can forget that love? Like another time in Sanford, we were sharing one single bathroom. And now Guru Maharaj's schedule is like we would get up early and then again take rest at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then again get up. So I got up at 4 o'clock and I was having this urge of going to washroom. But I cannot go in Guru Maharaj's room because he is resting. So what to do? I was just going to and fro, what to do, where to go. And in America you can't go out. In India it's okay, but America you can't do. So I was just, what to do? At the same time Guru Maharaj called. Guru Maharaj said, I am resting, but don't worry, you can come and use the washroom. So I never understood how he could sense all these little things. Okay, I'll skip this one. Yeah, this is also another very nice pastime. It's an instructive pastime. So we went to Calcutta, and in Calcutta, Guru Maharaj did a very nice program for New Year. Very prominent people of city came. And then we were on our way back to our accommodation. Guru Maharaj said, can you take car from Calcutta? I want to see Calcutta. So we took car from Calcutta. And Guru Maharaj was saying, you see, this park Guru Prabhupada gave lecture, this Trikon Park. This is a place where we would come in our youth. And he was showing different places in Calcutta because he was raised in Calcutta. And then he told a very nice thing. He said, there was a very prominent preacher in Calcutta in Prabhupada's time. And he preached to many prominent people. But he never connected them to temple. And what happened was, when he left Krishna consciousness, all those people also left Krishna consciousness. So when we preach, our center of preaching should be temple. That's what the instructive thing he gave. Last point. Vibheti deva cha jata roshayo. From whose anger even demigods tremble. This is the last one. So I have a little experience of demigods. So we were in Kalinagar. In Guru Maharaj came from helicopter. You must have seen that video. Guru Maharaj is coming down from helicopter and big garlands devotees are putting him. So that's from Kalinagar, Medinipur. And there Guru Maharaj was scheduled to give a program to 40,000 people. So the pandal was made for 40,000 people. And Guru Maharaj was received by thousands of people. Guru Maharaj came home, made nice Guru Puja, everything. And next day, Guru Maharaj was supposed to speak to this 40,000 people. So climate was like this when Guru Maharaj arrived. You can see at that video. But in evening, it started to get clouds. And by next morning, it was so dense cloud and they were raining. And now the organizers were in trouble because how come this 40,000 villagers and people will come to this program in such intense rain? And then the arrangements were also not made like that. The tent was not waterproof. So they were all worried what will happen. And they made prasad for 40,000 people. The paneer came in truck. So that's how the preparations were made. So they were worried. They told Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj went by the window and he said, actually Indra and Surya never go along together. They are like eternal enemies, Guru Maharaj was explaining. And when Indra has his own display of power, then Surya cannot come. And when Surya wants to display his power, Indra cannot come. We have example of Bali and Sugriv, son of Indra. Guru Maharaj gives so many explanations. But then Guru Maharaj said, But for Krishna's service, they both have to agree and they both have to cooperate. That's what Guru Maharaj said. Within half an hour, the climate became exactly like this. Everything was clear. We were astonished how this rain stopped, clouds went away, there was sunshine. And Guru Maharaj gave that program to 40,000 people. So, Jat Bebeti Devata. And his chastisement to us, what to speak of demigods, we would tremble. So I was having a very lovely time. In ashram we call it honeymoon time, where you get love and affection and so much. So I was getting this all love and care from all devotees from Guru Maharaj. So one day, what happened, Guru Maharaj gave me a dictation. And it was for Govardhan Prabhu. Have some water. It was for Govardhan Prabhu. And Guru Maharaj dictated it. And the system was, Guru Maharaj would give us points. We would draft the letter and we would save it into drafts folder. Then Guru Maharaj would open it, check it and send it out. So this particular letter was sitting in Guru Maharaj's drafts folder for like 3-4 days. And I was new servant and I wanted to be efficient servant. So I thought maybe Guru Maharaj forgot to send this letter. So I sent it out. Now, the same night Guru Maharaj called me. And Guru Maharaj asked, I am searching for that letter. Where is it? I can't find it. And I can't respond. Guru Maharaj said, come and check. I can't find that letter. And I was not moving. Guru Maharaj said, what? And when he said what, I started to shake. I said, did you send it? And he said, yes, Guru Maharaj, I sent it. Guru Maharaj started to chastise. That was my first chastisement. He said, why do you do things like this? Why don't you ask? I wanted to show the mistakes you made in that letter. Therefore, I kept in the drafts folder. I didn't send. And it's not going on your name. It's going on my name. And he has spoiled everything and he was chastising. And then I was not able to respond. So Guru Maharaj said, just go out from here. Just go away. And I was 20 years old boy. So I was just trembling. I just went away from there. And I was very scared. So after 10 minutes, he rang his bell. I went back. And Guru Maharaj said, don't worry. Take this book. He gave me a book, Elements of Style. He said, read this book and learn how to draft letters. So he didn't forsake me, but he trained me that you learn and serve. Otherwise, he could have just replaced. It's very easy to replace people, but he trained me. Just after 1 month in Mayapur, we all gathered and there were like 200 devotees from Ujjain, including the youth. And I was organizing them to sit in Guru Maharaj's quarters because, I was one of them, but now I became Guru Maharaj's servant, so that pride was there. So I was organizing, okay, you sit on the stairs and you sit in Maharaj's room and you sit here and you sit there, and I was organizing everybody. So 2 devotees from Youth Forum came, Ujjain Youth Forum, and they told that, Prabhuji, after 2 days is birthday of Rasananda Prabhu. So we prepared a cake for him because Guru Maharaj was leaving the next day. So we were desiring that Guru Maharaj cut his cake today itself. The birthday is after 2 days. So I said, okay, I'll ask Guru Maharaj. But that time Guru Maharaj was having shingles and he was taking medicine and taking rest. So I said, okay, Guru Maharaj will get up before the class. I will ask him and then if he wants, he can cut this cake. So okay, they were getting late. Guru Maharaj was not getting up. They were doing kirtan and everything. So finally, they asked Bhakti Prem Maharaj and they got the cake. Now Guru Maharaj got up and I could not get opportunity to ask him. He straight came, sat on Vyasas and started giving class. I could not get opportunity. Guru Maharaj gave a very nice class. He was laughing and he was answering questions. He was very happy. At the end of it, devotees gave me this cake. It was in my hands. What to do? I kept on Guru Maharaj's table. And I told Guru Maharaj, devotees are requesting that Rasanand Prabhu has his birthday after 2 days. So can you cut his cake? And suddenly his mood changed because he was already ill. And when Guru Maharaj is ill, he is upset. So he started to chastise me in front of all those 200 devotees. And he said, you are no use. You should have asked me this thing. You are seeing I am sick. Your work is to help me in this sickness and you are making life more difficult for me. He started to chastise like anything. What should I wish Rasananda? Happy birthday Rasananda after 2 days? What should I tell him? So you're making me do all kind of, and he was chastising like anything. Whose idea was it? And I was looking for these two boys, the two boys disappeared. Guru Maharaj said, whose idea? And again he was asking. Then Bhakti Prem Maharaj came in. Bhakti Prem said, Guru Maharaj, I gave them permission. That was the time Guru Maharaj calmed down. Otherwise he was chastising like one after another. And then Guru Maharaj went to take dinner. So I didn't go because I got already enough kripa that day. So I didn't go inside. Other devotees were serving. In night, I was chanting outside and Guru Maharaj came out. Guru Maharaj said, why didn't you come during the dinner time? So I said, Guru Maharaj, I was feeling guilty that I displeased you. He said, no, when I chastise so that you learn. So that's what he told that time. So anyway, there are more chastisement pastimes. Okay, one with Bhakti Prem Maharaj. No, then I'll skip this one. Jagannath, okay. The last pastime for today. So in Dylan, one devotee was found doing some wrong activity. And we found out. So we told Guru Maharaj that Guru Maharaj, this devotee is doing this. Guru Maharaj called him, Guru Maharaj corrected him. And then Guru Maharaj was supposed to go to Atlanta the next day. So Guru Maharaj chastised him so heavily that we were so worried that now Guru Maharaj will not accept this devotee in his service. He did something very bad. Guru Maharaj chastised him very heavily. After 2 days, Guru Maharaj said, book my ticket to Atlanta. So I was booking his ticket. Guru Maharaj said, along with us, this devotee will come. So I was wondering why Guru Maharaj is taking him. So I was booking his ticket. And then Guru Maharaj on his own, he told, actually, if I will forsake him, where he will go? So let him stay more with me so he overcome his problems. So although he would chastise, but then he would never reject anybody. He was always thinking how to reinstate devotees in his service. So that was about his anger. So I'll end here because it's a lot of time. But these were the qualities of Guru Maharaj from surface, whatever childish way I could see. I am not having a deeper realizations like senior devotees here. But I was just around and whatever my childish memory could capture, I just shared with you all. So please forgive me if I made some mistake and I wasted your time in all these childish memories. So this was from my side. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Srimad Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So